Got a little sideways and into the Lamborghini. Paragon Motorsports Lamborghini spun him around, and that pretty much ended the session for us.
Yeah, just drying conditions there. Very true. Talk to him about how difficult it is to be out of a full season. Oh, look at this, 27 spearing off through the kink there. And just gets arrested, possibly get that little bit of access road, gives you a little bit of grip before you back into the traffic.
Roman DeAngelis getting the Aston. White flag out for these drivers.
That was his brother, John Taylor. Westbrook to the inside. Oh, he turns himself around. Ricky Taylor survives.
Slight contact. Taylor's able to save the 10 car. Westbrook will get it righted. Where's Kobayashi in the 48? He's the third place. Westbrook going for the lead.
Just gets to the inside. He just gets into that rear end plate on the wing, but he's got massive brake on. He's trying to brake a little bit harder then, and that puts all of the weight on the nose and just loses the aero balance, and he goes for a spin. Ricky survives the moment.
Possibly establish a big lead that maybe they can protect around the big crash.
Is that Dwight Merriman in the 18? It is. The Era Motorsport LMP2 car.
Turn 6.
Defending class champions here at the Rolex.
This is what went down.
He just came up on a car quickly. It's an LMP3 machine in front of him. Yeah, he just gets on the brakes and just locks up the rear wheels there. It's like when you suddenly just add more pressure. We saw it a couple of times at Petit Le Mans, just very strange in the brake zones with these cars.
Race and relationship between the ACO, the Automobile Club de l'Ouest, who run, we got the 22 United Autosports car off, who run Le Mans, and Daytona International Speedway and IMSA. A really nice gesture there to name that the Le Mans chicane.
Yeah, and in Le Mans, at that
driving styles, because some of the times you have to look to what the track you're at likes.
Spin on the racetrack. That's a Ferrari. Flipping it back around. Looks like he'll be able to continue and will stay under green. Yep. Hinch, you had a question.
Talking on Thursday, that was the last thing that you drove before you came here, as we watched the replay here. You see just a little bit of contact.
Yeah, a little bit.
That is an absolute traffic jam. All types of classes through there. Everybody going to the grass, inside, outside. Here's an onboard shot.
Luis Compact in that 21 Ferrari just ahead of this prototype, and he doesn't stand on the brake pedal. This guy's waiting for him to lock up those brakes. Exactly right.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, man, always good hanging out with you. The mayor is also here on pit road, and wait, we've got another spin. And is that one of your cars, Townsend?
Oh, I hope not.
Is that your car?
Might be.
Oh, Townsend, that's your car.
The 12 with left rear damage. Say it ain't so, Frankie Montecalvo.
My teammate, we have to find out what happened here. Just a little touch maybe in the back. He goes left to avoid and can't avoid contact from the spinning Ferrari.
It's like you said with the last Ferrari that went around. Didn't think he got on the brakes hard enough to stop that car from rolling back. Really just nothing he could do.
On board here. Frankie is so good at staying out of trouble. He goes right here, and the Ferrari gets off the brake pedal.
Yeah,
that's exactly like the...
And it's certainly impressive. Look at the glare.
This was a few moments ago. There's an incident leaving pit road between the 70 and the 7.
Oh, you could see it there, Brendan Ariba.
when they changed the classes, the GTLM class goes to GT Pro. It's 19 spun around on the back straightaway. We got a very full field of GTD Pros and the top 4 right there on the screen in front of you. Literally the top 5 within 2 seconds of each other.
Yeah, ran with them last year, but certainly some of them had a lot of success. 33 there, just in a little deep, doesn't want to lock up those tires, really dusty there.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you think we're only a few hours into this race and all...
Whoa, spinner.
Action on track.
Oh, it's in such a precarious position. The TR3 Lamborghini in GTD.
Now, and what happened heading into the International Horseshoe. See the WeatherTech Porsche there.
Oh.
Just got in a little deep.
He could get the call on that for incident responsibility. Just in there super late and just plows into the side of him.
Yeah, he's pretty far back going in here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was a move he kind of thought about. It looked like maybe the Lamborghini was leaving him the room. He did leave him the room, actually. He just went wide.
He did.
Taken for that incident involving the 79 and the 19, but still waiting to see what.
Oh, it's big
wow.
one. It's the 34 car. That's the GMG Porsche. Turn 5 is the West Horseshoe. When the tires are hot, you got to remember to use a few more RPM.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mikkel Jensen got tagged there, did he?
Tough to tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did.
May have just got on the power. When you're driving around under.
We love.
Well, I was telling you, my first ever Indy 500 was last year watching Elio do it. He is, without a doubt, the youngest 46-year-old I have ever seen. Oh, this right here. Big yellow, force course yellow right here.
Shank, so excited that he could join us here. And now trouble for the Mueller Motorsports number 6, as it has heavy damage on track as well.
And I'm not sure how that one happened, James, because we were under caution for the 23 Alex
Oh my
Ramirez.
goodness, and the
The
75
75.
Mercedes as well.
This is mayhem. There's cars all over the racetrack. We're not sure if they're connected or not. We haven't seen any replays, obviously. We saw that Lamborghini moving to the ovals. We'll go to a replay here. Here's the 97 GTD car. Oh, wow.
Exiting turn 6, getting out of the NASCAR 2 banking. Another look here.
Just happens up. There's a third car involved.
Lamborghini number 19. Is that right?
Oh, there's the damage to the prototype, to the LMP3 car.
Come here and kind of showcase now a new car in a new class.
Well, I mean, first off, there is no series in the world that has this many manufacturers involved in it. This is truly amazing. And as you say, so many, whether it's...
See that flat right rear tire for Will Stevens in the 10 car, and there was a spin. That's how all that got going. He had been doing a terrific job to that point, sitting second in DPI, does not make any wall contact, but eventually that right rear does go down for the 10 machine. And all of the DPI cars were about a lap or two from making the stop. Will just flat cooked it in there, didn't he, Hinch? He just went way too much into turn 1 there, trying to get all he could.
This certainly played into their hands, but the number 2 has been strong all weekend, super strong at the Roar Day.
Trouble for the 64 into the wall now. That's turn 5. That's the Team TGM Porsche.
Owen Trinkler in the car. And again, that could be foul. Was able to blend back on without any problems.
This is on board with the number 3 Corvette.
Oh, and that's where it started.
Look, sometimes you just got to judge, feel what's that car's doing, what line he's doing, and somebody just spun out, and that's an LMP2. See? Now I know.
Elliot, we've kind of laughed about the cold, but it actually is a huge storyline, and you just mentioned you're from Brazil, so you're not used to
What happened? A little bit of contact here, racing 2 drivers going for the same spot. You know, there's still almost 18 hours left to go in this race.
I know. In that situation, I think the LMP2, and I heard a lot it. Sometimes you got a passing, even if sometimes the spotters say clear. Oh, another one, and that's whoop. That was a big one, right out of the bus stop.
Yeah, that was leaving the bus, coming out of the chicane there.
Oh wow!
Wow, was that something with the left rear?
That was unusual.
Yeah, that looked really odd.
I wonder if it was just coming out of the pit.
The traffic and everything. I mean, how difficult is it out there right now?
Yeah, outlaps are really treacherous. And then we're all in a position where we don't have enough sticker tires to get to the end. So
The rear and the front, back and forth throughout this race, you've got to stay off of the bumps, and a problem for the 6.
The Mueller Motorsports LMP3 car has had a couple of different times when they
dive off here about Jack Roush real quick. Is he excited about the new partnership with Brad Keselowski, all that's going on the Cup Series side?
He really is. You know, this new car, it was time for the
8 Ligier of Dan Goldberg. There's Goldberg coming out here.
He got together with another prototype. I think the 19 car. Had he just come?
One in 2018, another one in 21. So pretty awesome.
We had a wreck right behind us.
Yeah, I can hear it right here.
right behind us, the 96 car, I believe. That's I don't know who's in the 96 right now, but it literally spun, almost hit us on the pit wall. That was exciting.
You heard before you saw it.
Yeah, I know.
You lost it here on the
he lost it here coming through the.
It's from the 97 WeatherTech machine. Take a look up ahead on the left.
Whoa. That was really bizarre to suddenly lose control unless the tire suddenly went down. Blomqvist is going to try and take advantage here. He's very much in a rhythm to this race. Alex trying to find this kind of the braking points and the markers right now. A little bit wide there coming off turn 1. Tom gets the spin in the middle of the pack.
31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac.
Boy, that's Nunez behind the wheel. Escaped any contact so far, I believe.
Well, he needs to get moved out of the way here. Anybody that runs wide will have a hard time missing.
Those cold.
In the Whelen Engineering Cadillac, look to the right-hand side.
Yeah, just power down, just loops it around as he tries to accelerate off the corner there. Just an indicator how tricky these conditions are. Everyone's talked about it who's been in the car here this early evening. Board with the 01, then you can see it just rotates around. And
number 2 with the.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
was. Blomqvist, though, really impressive knows the chassis that the Acura is built around. The car off in turn 1, almost made it to turn 6 there in the tire wall. Extensive damage to the back of that car, and I think the best thing he could do is leave it right where it was. Both rear tires are flat. The rear wing is gone. You that said, hey, they always tell you when you come here, if you have a problem, he just tries to be up high and gets in the gray, and it's off. He's going, and boom, into the wall. Here before Petit Le Mans, and came here to the Roar and said, what we found works here as well. And a problem that was down at the Le Mans chicane. The 39 Carbon entry. And I couldn't see who the other car was.
And they're down a few laps. The 39 was up front early on, but they were already down several laps.
I think it was the 21. I think the Audi gets in there and either gets a little loose and has to check up a little bit, or kind of checked up to get the run coming off the corner, and it completely.
USA Network in the overnight hours of the Rolex 24. And it has impacted a couple of leaders. Marcus Ericsson had just gotten in to the 02 Cadillac, and he takes the 31 Action Express car of Tristan Nunez with him.
I think he gets in there into the horseshoe. He tries to stay to the inside. We get that one late. Tries to the inside to block him a little bit.
Is the answers to the test.
Oh, I mean, it's awesome. And you're watching the battle, or you were before the 47 had its problem. The battle for the lead in GTD Pro with Engel out in front and a Mercedes. Then
yeah, clearly it's a showcase for those brands to come and celebrate variety. I think there's 5.
go. Let's see what happened.
Top of the screen, you see the cars coming out of turn 2. They get together, and I don't know who hit who, but obviously the two cars made contact, and it's more than just a cut down tire. It is suspension damage. Front wheel up in the air because that right side tire is done, and as he turns in for the Le Mans chicane, without that right rear suspension, he turns in and it puts load on suspension that is no longer there, and the car comes around at that point in time. No problem except for the trailing prototype on the way in.
By at least one DPI, possibly a couple. It was Pipa Durrani arriving high speed, and there's a spin for the second of those Porsches. The 79 cars, as said, it was 9 car that was really struggling for the first couple of corners on the infield.
Racing driver brain cannot tell you just how cold it is. You can't believe it's as cold as this, but in fact, under braking, he left the track, found an access road, which is rather good to slow him down, and then reversed across the grass, just missed the tail of the KCMG Porsche, and importantly for him, just missed as he went across the track.
So it's race inexperience, quite possibly. He needed to allow the space. There's a tear-off that is making a break for freedom as well on the 79 car as he spun, to give you an idea. Caution number 13 rather, and we've had 70 laps under yellow flag conditions. Well, big incident. Is there a car on fire behind the scoring tower? There's an awful lot of black smoke, a plume of it, coming from an unidentified car to this point, and the response crews are very inspired. I'd be very surprised if that car, that car is out of the race. I was about to say, be very surprised if it returned. But a sorry state it takes, with the engine cover off at now at a very peculiar angle, but covered in fire extinguisher.
Very good use of the mirrors there. Danny Juncadale spotted a prototype coming up his inside, so he rose high. And we got the 44 Magnus Racing Aston Martin off the edge of the track. The lights are on, and it's going again, so little mishap, rejoining at the, well, partway between the second and third of the 4 parts.
Good news. Let's just describe that to you again, where it was a really crowded house into the Le Mans chicane. It's done some damage to the rear. Amazingly, the rear wing stayed intact, but that will have been knocked out of shape. It was contact with a prototype which needed to run slightly offline as a result before we go caution again. And quite how many laps this is going to be remains to be seen. Oh, it is a big crash for an LMP3 car. It's the Andretti car at turn. Now, one voice in...
The cold tires, not a lot of grip, but a ton of confidence from Tom Blomqvist in that number 60 car. Oh, and contact behind. Tristan Nunez was hit by Tristan Vautier in the number 5, and he is off at the International Horseshoe.
Before this caution, it was the Tristan show.
We might actually see a penalty. You can see he came from quite far back. Whoa. Nunez didn't even know he was there. Vautier able to get away with it. That might lead to 25 minutes before the car actually comes in and you get to jump in.
Oh, spin right in front. That is down in the Le Mans chicane. And that's one of the LMP3 cars.
That's like the 54.
It's
the Core Autosport.
Yep. George Kurtz behind the wheel. Had a good talk with George before the event got going. Prototype challenge race. Very, very same car, but not the same chassis.
So yeah, it just looks like he lost it on entry there through the Le Mans chicane, the entry part there. Very easy to do. Deep brake zone, very high speed. You can see he's not quite committed. A little bit of rear lock maybe. It looks like on a downshift, sometimes when you pull that last gear down, if the revs don't match up properly, the rears can lock up.
I believe that, Marty. When we go back to the original replay, Hitch, you pointed it out, we start to see whispers of smoke come up through the hood. And, you know, in my experience, that doesn't seem to be, I wouldn't call that one oil driven there unless there was contact with a little bit of loss of grip. But, you know, when you listen
to Austin, by the time they get to the brake zone.
Yes, he's got the spot and a spin in front of them.
United Autosports LMP2 car.
That's being driven right now by Guy Smith. He gets it corrected also.
And that's the 11, Josh Pearson, who's had a couple issues with the penalties. We saw had a couple problems, but let's go back, take a look at the replay.
Whoa.
Just locked it up under braking. So easy to do. You know, we talked about the downshifts having an effect, cold tires out.
For that, and they're looking at their stints. Where are we going to put our players as the 48 now has an issue?
Jimmy Johnson behind the wheel, and it has spun off track. They had problems overnight in that.
Horseshoe On the brakes, get to the, oh, just carries.
It's his outlap, Hinch.
Oh, cold tires say, got to the apex okay. Maybe just rolled a little bit too much speed, still had a, maybe went to the throttle right at that point. Yeah, you can just see it steps out. It's so easy to do.
And the traction control is so good on these DPIs that
Castro Neves, could he have imagined what's going on in his mid-40s? For Meyer Shank Racing, the new team, as this GTD Pro battle rages down into the Le Mans chicane, and they go through the grass and spins, goes to 2. Oh, Lawrence Vantor.
There's the Ferrari goes by for second.
Now, with that in mind, how about this?
What a battle.
Yeah, you knew going chicane here that this was just not going to work out for one of these cars.
Just full send. You have to do it. Lawrence has said, I've won big races. I want this one. I want that Rolex.
Last lap of the 24-hour maximum commitment.
Gemini, that was just an unbelievable stint that he put together there, Dale.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, great racing from both these guys. You got to give Vanthor a lot of credit, too. He was aggressive, driving like a NASCAR stock car. But